We are following a developing story. An Afghan soldier has opened fire on U.S. commandos in Afghanistan. It happened in the Nangarhar province, which is to the east of Kabul. CBS News confirms at least 3 American soldiers have died. 1 other is wounded. For more, we're joined by CBS News national correspondent David Martin. David, what do we know so far?
Well, the exact circumstances are unclear, but the Taliban is claiming credit for having one of its fighters having infiltrated the Afghan police unit that was operating with a U.S. patrol, and the Taliban claims that this infiltrator opened fire on Americans, and a U.S. official says it now appears that 3 Americans are dead and 1 wounded. This occurred in, as you said, Nangarhar province, but a part of Nangarhar province which is known as Achin district, and that is the district where ISIS is holed up in a cave complex. And there have been continuous operations, joint U.S.-Afghan operations designed to dig the ISIS fighters out of that cave complex. But of course, that's very dangerous business because the caves are connected by tunnels, and so the Afghan and U.S. fighters are susceptible to being ambushed. However, in this case, it appears from the initial accounts that they had returned safely from patrol, and it was back on the base that one of the Afghan commandos allegedly opened fire on Americans and killed 3 before he himself was killed. I want to stress that we don't have confirmation of the fact that this was an inside job from U.S. officials. So the U.S. officials are just saying now that they know that 3 were killed and one wounded.
And the White House says that the president is monitoring this situation. David, we've heard about such incidents. If this is in fact an inside attack that's happened over the years, both in Afghanistan as well as in Iraq and in other conflicts throughout the decades, is this perhaps just one of the risks of such joint operations?
Well, it is. I mean, you operate out of a joint base, and you can't keep your guard up all of the time. And at some point, if soldiers are going around with loaded weapons, and one of them, for whatever reason, wants to exact revenge against American soldiers, they're right there, and you have a loaded weapon. And obviously, if you do that, you're almost certainly going to end up dead. But we've seen, of course, no shortage of fighters in these wars who are willing to sacrifice their own lives in order to take a few Americans with them.
You know, we've been so focused on the seeming daily drama coming out of the White House since the election that I fear that we've kind of lost touch with what's happening in Afghanistan and the American soldiers there. David, can you just give us kind of a thumbnail as to what the situation is? Well,
this comes at a point when the Taliban appear to be resurging. And the commander in Afghanistan is asking for more troops because the Afghan government is controlling less and less of the territory. And right now there is a proposal to put an additional 3,000 to 5,000 troops into Afghanistan. Those would not necessarily all be American, some American, some from other countries. Nobody thinks that 3,000 to 5,000 more troops after all these years of war is suddenly going to turn the tide. But what U.S. officials are looking for here is just to sort of keep the wolf of the Taliban away from the door while they continue to try and train and equip the Afghan army, the Afghan police, Afghan Air Force, so that they can fight more and more of these battles on their own. The real U.S. interest in Afghanistan right now is simply having soldiers there, counter-terrorist soldiers, commandos, who can continue to carry out raids against terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS that might be planning attacks not necessarily in Afghanistan, but against the West in Europe or even in the United States, because, of course, this has been going on for so long now, maybe some people have forgotten, but Afghanistan is where the 9/11 attacks originated.
Yeah. America's longest running war. David Martin, thank you.